Do you remember the Academy Award winning Suicide Squad? Well, I mean, I know many of us tried to forget it, but that's just the thing. Since Birds of Prey is currently out right now and it's in need of a box office prayer, I figured I would revisit the reason why it's failing. Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad was a distinctively bad film, a film so messy that you have trouble forgetting its faults, because there were just so damn many of them, and they were just so memorable, even if we wish we didn't remember them. Man, do you remember the trailers for this movie? They were amazing, crisply edited, smooth, and each synchronized with classic rock music that only hyped us more. If only they had put more effort into the final product. And it really shows that they didn't. The Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad was supposed to be the saving grace of the DCU. After the fine but dreary Man of Steel and the ambitiously messy and also dreary Batman vs. Superman, the Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad was supposed to bring it home. It didn't. Instead, it ended up sucking ass, getting horrible reviews, and making millions of dollars. Look, people, I told you not to go, but I guess you, like me, just, we learned the hard way. So, I guess let's start with the premise. Cara Delevingne, who I like to refer to as Miss Good Movie Repellent, gets possessed by this spirit and ends up becoming the Enchantress. So Viola Davis, who is an FBI officer, hatches this idea that doesn't make any sense. Release a bunch of villainous inmates from Arkham Asylum and have them go after the bitch. Now here's the thing. This film is set in the same universe that Batman and the Flash are running around in. How do I know this? Because they're in this movie. So why not ask them for help? And also, I get that the seeking a villain to catch a villain concept worked for Clarice Starling, but why would that be a good idea here? It's whatever. The first hour of the Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad showed a bit of promise. Spent a lot of time providing backstories for our villains, such as Will Smith's Deadshot, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, the racial stereotype known as Killer Croc, and Mr. Good Movie Repellent, Captain Boomerang, played by Jai Courtney, who does something with a boomerang. And that's another problem. This movie is interested in some of these characters, and only some. There's some who definitely get their spotlight, and then there's some like Slipknot, for example, who must have an affection for the death metal band from the early 2000s. That's not actually his backstory, but it's more of a backstory than they provide. They are so disinterested in him that when he dies, I don't think you even see it happen, and it's never talked about again. To me, though, my favorite backstory here is from Katana, who is introduced in such a laughable manner. It's as if she showed up on set and they forgot she was in it, so they went with this.
This is Katana. She's got my back. She can cut all you in half with one sword stroke, just like mowing the lawn. I would advise not getting killed by her. Her sword traps the souls of its victims.
The first hour provides a smidgen of fun, and then the movie runs out of gas, and that's partially why I think this film is awful. So once the band gets together, they set off to stop Enchantress, who is spinning a blue cloud for some reason while she waits for the squad to get there, I guess. Once the second hour hits, the Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad becomes deadly dull, and rather stupid, and boring. The screenplay is awful. It oozes with one-liners like, "You don't have the balls," and Lord, it is just lazy. Remember when Will Smith goes, "What are we, some kind of Suicide Squad?" I mean, Smith and Robbie provide perhaps the only, they're one of the only saving graces of this film, but does that really say much? They're not impervious to this screenplay. Let me think. And, oh yeah, do you remember how I mentioned that the trailer synced up beautifully with classic rock? It's funny. The movie certainly didn't. The Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad has a great soundtrack that is put to terrible use. God. just because you're including a bunch of songs that we know doesn't mean that they work. And some of these songs have been used so many times in movies, it's beyond cliche. But a big part of the hype surrounding this film was Jared Leto's Joker. Leto discussed how invested he got in this role and how he Daniel Day-Lewis it and all this shit. And there was all this hype and anticipation for him, and he's in it for 10 minutes. Director David Ayer has since said that he regrets not making the Joker the villain because no shit. But let's be real here. Would you really want more of him? Leto is a great actor, but his portrayal of the Joker is just kind of silly looking back on it. But if we're really getting down to it, the Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad's biggest error, well, perhaps biggest, is the fact that they didn't go all the way. You have this concept, it's fun and it's different, and you give it a PG-13 rating? What it comes across to me is a poor man's Deadpool. And even though it does suck and its disappointment still stings, I can't say it's the worst thing I've ever seen. But it is still bad, even though it is an Academy Award-winning movie. Yep, the Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad won the Oscar for Best Makeup, a win that really made me laugh, because even the makeup looks kind of like hack work, and I was baffled that the makeup artists actually accepted their award with a straight face. To me, their speech should have went a little like this.
First of all, I want to thank Warner Brothers. Thank you for putting me in a piece of shit, god-awful movie.